Good luck.
After 1 week vacation, here we are.
Yes.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Man, this was a wonderful idea, buying a monster. Oh yeah, everybody, I'm cracked. I'm ready to yell. So if you're ready to get ready for those ears to bleed, because I'm gonna make them bleed, boys. I'm yelling. Oh, I gotta pull up a track map. Hold on.
Your voice is gonna hurt by the end of this.
Oh, my throat already hurts, but it's okay.
Oh, that's great.
Shoot, track map. Okay, I'm not prepared apparently. Let's see. Oh wow, beautiful. Oh, this one's got turn names. That's great. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the UDL F1 League round 18 of the F1 Championship. My name is Mr. Damage, joined by Jonathan Mladebabato. How you doing today, John?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm just spiffing as I am excited for yet another edition of the UDL F1 League. Woo! Oh man, this is gonna be great. I hope.
Yes, it will be.
So, last time out at the something Grand Prix, Japanese GP, we had a wonderful race. Got a little bit strung out at the very end, but it still had its fair share of controversy. And the F1 point standings after the Japanese GP see Snipper Pig on top at 266 points. 66 points ahead of Pecan, who stands in P2. He was a whole 101 points ahead of the third place driver of Breezy in the Williams. The Constructors' Championship is led by Red Bull Racing with the two very consistent drivers of Snipper Pig and Real Space Hero driving those two cars. So they are up top at 416. Ferrari have 377 points and Renault 213. Oh man, this is going to be a good race.
Yes, it will be.
Just for everybody's information, we will have a few drivers coming in after qualifying. Sniffer Pig, most notably the championship leader, will be starting from the back of the grid. We also have a grid penalty for Eat That Green Bean, a.k.a. the Nameless Duck. So now I try to find somebody to watch as we go on a lap here. I'll jump down to Honos as he just started his first flying lap down towards turn 1. The S's Moises Solana, according to this track map, that's what that's called, and now going down the second DRS straight of the lap. Mexico does have one of the biggest straights on the calendar now through this nice chicane here, and then to the low speed double apex hairpin there up towards the S's now. This nice left, right, left through these S's. Every single corner has a different radius, so it's very hard to gauge how fast you need to go, including that right-hander there. He just took, as you can see, Glenn Coco just had a serious moment there. We'll jump back up to Honos. He goes a little bit wide there on the exit. Hopefully that doesn't invalidate his time, as now he comes up towards the beautiful stadium section here. All these Mexican fans coming out to watch this race. And now up towards the final corner. Very easy to overdrive this corner. And Honos does pull off into the pit lane. His lap wasn't validated. So that was a waste of a minute. As now Breezy comes across the line to set the fastest lap of the qualifying session so far, as he is the only one to set a qualifying lap at a 1:15.343. Get that money and run. Puts a time on the board of 1:16.905. Puts himself into a provisional P2 out of 2. Now, I just noticed this track map doesn't have the stadium section in it, so I need to find a different track map.
I didn't even know they had a track map without a stadium section.
They should. I mean, it is an F1 track.
Well, I know, but I didn't know they had it without it.
There's tons of different layouts of this track. Lucas comes across the line. He goes up into P2. Bossman comes across the line to go up into P4. And WSR Hartman, a new addition to this series, he will be racing this race to stand in at the McLaren team. He goes a 1:18.7. Pecan comes across the line, goes up into a provisional P2 with a 1:15.693 for Ferrari. There's now quite a few drivers have finished their qualifying lap here, riding on board with Zeus through the stadium section now. See what kind of a time he can post coming around the final corner now. He does elect to stay on the track. Let's see if he gets a good time in. He does. He goes up at a P3 with a 1:16.016.
It'll be interesting to see the order of drivers in this race with our reigning winner of Snipper Pig not being here this week.
Absolutely, and like I said, he will be here for the race, but he will be missing this qualifying session. Championship leader now is relegating himself to last place, quote-unquote voluntarily. Now I'm going to give one of the... What?
It's going to be interesting seeing him fight back through the field. Once
yeah, absolutely. That's going to be a really great race to watch, is his point of view. I'm going to give Drew Yu a little bit of camera time here. He's currently in P11. He hasn't set a lap yet for the Racing Point team. These Mexicans love their Racing Point drivers. As we all know, the only Mexican driver on the grid is Sergio Perez, and he is in a Racing Point. Hefty Bag is driving that particular Racing Point. Drew Yu is racing the Lance Stroll entry, but it doesn't really matter because it's still a Racing Point.
I will
Honos
be
was
right back.
Honos with all those 9s and 7s in that Alpha. Our winner at Singapore has 1 win to his name in this championship. Let's see if he can put a second to his name or a pole position here. That would really help his cause trying to battle through this midfield, since he did join into the series very late. I think his first race was in Singapore. He came in and really shocked the world there. We've got a car off track of Man just letting some people through. Drew Yu comes across the line, does a 118.975 to go up into P8. Last of the drivers to have set a qualifying time. Honos, as I was just talking about, goes a 115.981 up into P3 currently. Gonna ride on board with Sinister Owl here. He is on a flying lap. Gonna jump up to Hefty Bag. Hefty Bag comes across the line, goes up into P4 with a 115.985, only 0.04 of a second behind Honos in P3. Gonna jump down through the order now. That green is letting some people through. His lap must have been invalidated. Gonna jump to Masashiro. He's coming up towards the stadium section now. He's closely notable team swap for him. He came from Alfa Romeo and he's now in the Toro Rossos. He sets a 118.176, with Coco right behind him, a 117.632. Edat Green Bean comes across the line to start yet another lap, as his lap was in fact invalidated. He gets out of the way. He was just giving Breezy a tow. So now we're going to jump up to Man, one of the last drivers to have not set a qualifying lap. Let's see if he can get a lap on the board. He went a little bit wide out of the S's there, and it looks like he might have back out of the lap. Let's see if he continues to go at full pace. It looks like he is. Let's see
Get
if
that
he
money
can
and run, moves up
finish
to
out this
third
lap.
place with a 15.973.
The fifth man into the 15s. Get that money and run for McLaren up into P3. So I'm going to jump back down. Man's lap did not count. I'm going to jump back up to Bossman. Bossman coming through the stadium session now. Let's see what kind of a lap he can put on the board here. As he comes around the final corner in that Renault. He goes up into provisional pole position with a 15.298. Great lap time out of him. Breezy right behind him, though, and he is coming through the stadium section now, and once again, Eat That Green Bean is right in front of him, ready to give him a tow, and he actually does pull out of the way for him to finish this lap as the Williams comes across the line side by side, but most notably, Breezy does not go faster. For some reason, I have my lap data turned off, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. That was a big mistake by me. Let's see what we got here. Let's see who's coming up to the end of their lap. Bossman just finished his lap. Breezy is on an in lap now, I would presume. Pecan coming through the stadium section now. Let's see if he can get himself back up to provisional pole. As he now comes around the final corner. And he will take the laps. Let's see what he can put down. He goes a 115.416, but he stays in P3. Because the two drivers in front of him are just that much further ahead.
Lucas coming up to the line for his fast lap.
He goes 2.5 tenths faster, but stays in P8 with a 116.078. Really close field here from P4 to P8. Only covered by a tenth of a second, so very close right there in this qualifying session so far. Drew coming around the final corner now. He goes into the pit lane, followed by the Williams of Breezy. That Green Bean also coming into the pit lane. Hono's coming around to start a flying lap, his second of the session. Pecan on a flying lap. Right behind him is his teammate of Zeus. Probably going to be giving him just a little bit of tow here down the front straight. Maybe that'll help that team out just a little bit in trying to get up to the front row. See if we have anybody else on a flyer coming up towards the end of the lap. No, it looks like the Ferrari duo will be the ones coming up to it. Pecan is around 4.2 seconds off, so he won't be coming across the line, I presume. No, he does not. He goes into the pit lane, and so does Zeus. Lucas coming around the final corner now. Let's see if he pits or if he stays out. He goes into the pit lane, so that'll be another lap that is not going to be finished. Honos only 70 thousandths down on his time, but he is now 1.2 tenths up, so he will be improving and finishing this lap. If he stays at this pace, he will be provisional P4 for the Alfa Romeo team. That would be a great qualifying performance for that team. So he now comes around the final corner. Let's see what kind of time he can put together. Oh, he peels off into the pit lane, so he must have invalidated his time at some point, because he was on a very good lap there. WSR Hartman just started another lap, and Sinister Owl just finished a lap, but it was invalidated once again. So two drivers still yet to set a qualifying lap, Man and Sinister Owl.
Quite a lot of pit lane activity at this very moment. WSR Hartman runs wide.
Wow, I had my mic muted and I was talking about him. So WSR Hartman's time's definitely going to be taken away, which really sucks for him. He was a full second up there. So hopefully if he can carry that momentum, he can get up on the grid just a little bit further. And it actually didn't invalidate him. So he goes a 117.002 and goes up into P9. He went very wide there, but somehow didn't get invalidated. So lucky break for him.
Very lucky.
So now we're going to jump back down to...
Sinister Owl goes up to P4.
I was about to scroll down to him to see where he was, but yep, he goes up to P4 with a 115.624, only a couple of tenths off of Bossman, and P1 with a 15.298. Only half a tenth separating Bossman and Breezy. This Bossman is coming through the S's now. He has been on some seriously good form as of late for that Renault team, really helping that Renault team get up in the constructors standings to P3.
Get that money and run coming to the final corner now.
Let's see what kind of a lap time he can put together here. It could have been a cooldown lap. I'm not sure it was. He was 7.2 seconds off. That's not very fast. But Bossman is a full tenth and some change up at the second sector split, but he lost all of it, and he's just barely improves by 7 thousandths of a second to a 115.291. Great consistency there out of Bossman in that Renault. See what else we've got here. WSR Hartman coming up to the end of his lap, but it looks like a cooldown lap as it is above the 1 minute 30 threshold right now, and he does pull it into the pit lane. There was a car right behind him, but I'm not sure who it was. Didn't see a jump up from anybody. Breezy once again getting a tow from his teammate. His teammate pulls out of the way of Eat That Green Bean. He has a grid penalty, so he is just out here to help his teammate try to get that pole position for this Mexican GP. Some great tactics out of the Williams team here. So now Lucas is coming around the final corner. Let's see if he continues on his lap. He goes a little bit wide there Let's see if that'll affect him much. It does. He loses a bit of time there at the exit of the final corner. And Hefty Bag was 3/10 up, but apparently got invalidated. Now he goes into the pit lane. Honos coming up towards the final corner now. There's another car in front of him, the Haas of Glen Coco, coming around the final corner now. Let's see if he can improve on his time. He's going very slowly, so it doesn't seem like he will be. Honos, though, does improve on his time. Almost 2/10, goes up to P5, the 1:15.784. Now the Ferraris start presumably their final qualifying lap with only 1 minute and 10 seconds left in this session. Breezy once again with the toe off of his teammate going down the front straight, and Duck absolutely loses it and crashes at the end of the front straight. Thankfully there was nobody behind the Williams duo. That would have been seriously bad. Now Lucas coming through the stadium section once again. Let's see if he can improve on his time. And he peels off into the pit lane. See who else we got on the track at the moment. Sinister Owl coming around the final corner on his outlap. Pecan coming up towards the stadium section now at the exit of the S's. They have 20 seconds left in this qualifying session, so all of these drivers can theoretically get another lap on the board. Bossman is done with this qualifying session, and Breezy crashes out. Breezy hits the wall in the stadium section and breaks his suspension, so that will be his pole position efforts done and dusted. As now the session ends, Pecan comes across the line just in time to start his final qualifying lap. Honos coming around the stadium section now. Let's see if he can improve on his lap. Maybe get up onto the top 3 spots or even that front row. No, he peels off into the pit lane. Let's see who's next across the line here. It will be the McLaren, but the McLaren's going very slowly, so it will not be him. Try to find somebody else. It looks like Man might be coming around the final corner here soon, but he's going very slowly.
Sinister Aloe in the stadium section right now.
Yeah, I was about to say it looks like there's a Renault behind him coming around the final corner now. He hits the wall, though. That's going to cost him quite a bit of time, and he goes a lot slower. So he will stay provisionally in P4. Next driver to cross the line, I believe, will be Pecan, who currently sits in P3. Let's see if he can improve on his lap and go up into P2. As he comes around the final corner, he's going very slowly, so he will not improve. It seems like he probably ran out of fuel. And Zeus going very slowly as well into the pit lane.
And that's our qualifying.
So, Bossman, with his, I believe, first pole position in the UDL F1 League. Tell me if I'm wrong. But Bossman for Renault, a very strong qualifying session for the Renault team. P1 and P4. Glen Coco jumps up into P12, I think. Or maybe my eyes are just deceiving me. But Bossman on pole for the Renault team with a 1:15.291. Breezy in P2 for Williams at a 1:15.343, and Pecan in P3 with 1:15.416. Sinister Owl comes across the line. He will be P4 in this qualifying session. Honos in P5. Waiting for the screen to come back up. Get that money and run for McLaren in P6. Hefty Bag in P7. Zeus in P8 for Ferrari. Lucas in P9. And WSR Hartman in his first qualifying session in this league qualifies in P10. Man is in P11. Glen Coco P12. Drew Yu is in P13. Masashiro P14. They need that green bean and dead last, and he does have a grid penalty, so he will be starting plumb last in this Mexican GP here in the UDL F1 League. That was a good qualifying session.
Yes.
Very, very close at the front. Only half a tenth between Bossman and Breezy. And you can really tell that was their best laps because Breezy crashed trying to improve, and Bossman just barely improved on his first lap by only 7 thousandths of a second.
Yeah, the race is looking to be pretty good up at the front. I'm really excited to see what happens. Hopefully, it's not as much drama as Japan was, but
Yeah, hopefully we can steer clear of all the drama and just have a lot of fun here in this UDL F1 league. We've had a lot of good quality races in this league. So, I mean, Austria was a very, very good race. Russia was a very close race as well. Quite a few very notable races since I've been commentating here in the UDL F1 league.
got a short intermission while we're restarting the lobby.
Let's see if I can get an interview.
That the new Christmas livery is pretty nice.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Let me look at it.
Yeah, there's
Customization.
a new Christmas livery and new Christmas theme helmet and stuff.
Oh, there's 2 new regular, or 3 new premium liveries. 6 or 4? What? No, never mind. Okay. Oh, is that the Christmas car? No, that one is. Okay. What's the one on the far right? The Christmas car looks cool. What's the one on the far right?
I'm not sure.
Oh, it's for the Abu Dhabi GP. Okay. That's pretty cool. It's different colors on each side. Pink and yellow. A little bit of black. And a little bit of every other color on the planet. That's pretty cool, but here's a Christmas car if any of you are interested. Got a little bit of snow on the bottom. Reindeer, of course, on the side, but the notable number 13, my favorite number in the world. As we have somebody who wants to have an interview here. So I'll go ahead and invite him into the party. I forgot to make this party invite only, or private, I mean, so I'll wait for him to join and then I'll do that. As we take I'll take a quick break.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
My quick break is now over. So here we have Eat That Green Bean in the party, aka the Nameless Duck, whichever one you want to talk to him about. He spent most of that session trying to help his teammate at Williams and Breezy. So what are your expectations for this race here and for the Williams team?
P1, P2.
P1 and P2, very strong words coming out of the Williams driver here. How has practice gone for Mexico? Are you liking the track?
Yeah, I like the track for race and quali. I have a 10-place grid penalty because of you. So I just gave my teammate constant toes.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I saw at the very end of the session you had a little bit of an issue. You spun and hit the wall on the grass, which was nice. It's a good thing there was nobody near to get caught up in that.
Yeah, when I got out, it was...
There in his final qualifying lap, he ended up breaking the suspension on his car after hitting a wall. Do you have any sort of intel on why that happened or anything?
It's just a rough track. You barely hit the fucking grass and it'll DQ you. So that's his that was the problem we had the entire track. You would hit the fucking... I can't think. You'd barely go off the track and it would DQ you.
Yeah, I mean, track limits are always pretty tough. So
we were just trying to stretch out as much as we could out of every little corner, and it cost us a few laps. But
yeah,
we got on P2, so good enough.
Yeah, front row's plenty good enough. It's looking like it's going to be a really close battle up front.
Alright, well, I'm going to go back to my team party.
Alright, yep, good luck to you, and have fun.
Good luck.
Love you, John.
Excuse his language. Hopefully I can still stay monetized here.
I was just about to say that.
See if I can get Hefty Bag in the party here. He didn't message me saying he wanted an interview, but I know he's always up for one, so let's see if he'll join up and give us a little bit of comedy here.
Hopefully with less language.
Yeah, hopefully. Here we have Hefty Bag in the party. He qualified, I believe, what, P6? P5? P7 for the Racing Point team. How are you feeling for this Mexico GP?
Considering there aren't that many drivers, if everyone can stay off of my car, I think points are very possible in this race, but we'll just have to wait and see because it gets a little bit crazy first lap, and always end up getting the short end of the stick.
I will say it is very lucky for you that you are not near Drew Yu. We know the rivalry between you two has escalated a couple of times, including at Russia.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been hearing some things that he's... Let's just say that I hope to finish in front of him today. If I don't, you will see a resignation from me from UDL.
Very strong words here out of Hefty Bag. Let's see if he can finish today's race and stay in front of Drew Yu for the entire race.
Let's start with finishing first.
One last question for you. Drew Yu in the pre-race lobby stated that Racing Point will get a 1-2 here in Mexico because they have Sergio Perez on the team. Are you believing that this can happen?
Yeah. I think that Force India is gonna really, Racing Point is gonna really crank up the engines since it's the home Grand Prix. So I think you should see 1-2 by about 27 seconds.
Well, we do
right.
We do have to say the Williams of Breezy and Duck also are predicting a 1-2. So.
Oh.
It's going to be a great battle between the Racing Points and the Williams to see if they can get onto those first two steps of the podium.
Yeah.
All right. I know I already said one last question, but one last question. Who do you think is going to win this race?
Snipper is here, so either Bossman or Snipper.
You think Snipper Pig can come all the way from the back of the grid to win?
Oh, I didn't know he started from the back of the grid. So, Bossman or Breezy?
Bossman or Breezy, one of the two front row drivers. Well, thank you for the interview. Or Hefty Bag, okay. Thank you for the interview, Mr. Egotistical Racing Point driver.
Dude, we got S's on this track. I got to go in there with confidence, bro. I do put up a purple middle, so.
Hefty Bag bragging about his purple middle sector that got him 2 P7. So congratulations for him.
That's about the most I'm going to get out of that car today. Alrighty, guys.
Well, so good luck in the race.
Have fun.
Yep.
And don't hit anything this
I'm
week.
definitely not hitting anything.
And finish your first GP, please.
I did last week.
Oh, yeah, that's
in
right.
The pit.
You finished.
I finished it in the pit. Alright.
Good luck.
Alright. Have fun. Good luck. Oh, man. The league's comedian right there. Me and Hefty are good friends, so always, poking the bear every once in a while. Oh, man. I'm ready for this race to start.
I am as well.
So, I asked him his predictions. He said either Bossman or Breezy or himself will win the race. Who is your podium for this Mexican GP?
Okay, so in my opinion, either Bossman or Breezy is going to be on the top. The other being in second. I think Snipper Pig has the possibility to work his way back up to a third, but I don't think he'll have the pace to catch up to the two front runners.
I definitely agree with you with the front two. I feel like Bossman and Breezy have a ton of pace. We definitely could tell that Bossman is very consistent as well with his 2 qualifying laps that he put up that were both around half a tenth faster than Breezy in P2. So I feel like Bossman and Breezy will be at the top of this podium, and I'm not sure who's really going to get that P3. There's quite a few drivers here with some pace. I know Peacon's really hunting for that podium, get back on that podium, and really boost his confidence some. Man, it's just so tough. Honestly, I think my P3 is going to go to Honos in the Alfa Romeo. He's been very consistent all year, ever since he joined the league, and I feel like he can be consistent once again here today and drive himself up to a P3.
I respect that. Interesting choice, but I think it's well-deserved.
As both of the Red Bull cars will be starting in the back as they both missed the qualifying session. Real Space Hero is at his home GP, the only Mexican driver in our field. He went to the real-life Mexican GP, and now he's here for the only real Mexican GP that matters as the session starts. Oh man, once again the top 10 has to start on the compound that they qualified on, so I presume that would be all the soft compound. And then I feel like a lot of the runners behind them from P11 to P16 or P17 or whatever it is will most likely be on mediums, as this is a pretty tough track on tires according to the tire wear graphics in F1 races.
I would just like to address a comment on your stream. No, I will not.
A good start is spelling John's name correctly. John is a very strong, independent woman, so
Hey, hold up.
she wants to keep that maiden name.
There was no she on this stream currently.
I mean, I don't really know. Some of these drivers in this field don't talk, so they might be she's.
Okay, no she currently talking on this stream.
So all the drivers are picking their strategies and their setups. Hopefully the top 10 drivers this week will start on the correct tires. It looks like quite a few drivers are on the soft compound tires just from this camera angle.
Well, it's a very fast launch for Boss Man.
Go ahead and jump on over to the tire choices from all the runners here. Man and P10 quite curiously picked the medium compound tires. The only other driver to pick the mediums is Itai Green Bean in P14. Everybody else is on those soft compound tires. If I'm not mistaken, Man did qualify in P10, so this will be a penalty.
Yes, he did.
Because the only grid penalty was for Eat That Green Bean, who got lucky and didn't really have to serve it because A, he was helping his teammate, and B, 2 drivers missed qualifying, so they will be relegated to the back of the grid. Just so happens to be both of the Red Bulls. This fight back from the back from both of these Red Bull drivers is going to be one to watch for sure. It's going to make for a great race.
Yes, it will. Especially knowing how cautious Snipper Pig is when passing, it'll be interesting to see how much he can actually gain.
He has been in this position before, starting from the back of the grid. He has missed qualifying a few times, and he has done very well in those other races to get back through the field for the most part. So I'll really be looking for Snipper Pig to come back through the field and get some solid points here today. Now they come up towards the front straight and towards their grid slots. Bossman gonna take that P1 grid slot for what I believe is the first time in his UDL F1 career. Once again, a very strong qualifying session out of Renault here, P1 and P4. As the final drivers get into their grid slots, we have the auto glitch of the cars taking off, even though they're not. There's now 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4, 5, and the lights are out, and away we go for the UDL F1 League Mexican GP. Bossman gets off to a very bad start, and Breezy is already alongside. Pecan gets an amazing start, and he pulls up alongside Bossman. He will be challenging for the lead here. Let's see if he can go around the outside, but Bossman has the inside line, and he will hold on to P1 for now. Behind them, Breezy is in P2 and Sinister Owl in P3. Zeus and Hono side by side now coming down this second straight. Doesn't look like there were any turn 1 incidents to my knowledge, so that's very good.
Clean.
Is now Zeus pulls through 4 P5. Lucas and get that money and run or side by side. Lucas gets the position, and Hefty Bag is now trying to get past, get that money and run as well. A little bit of contact between the two, and Hefty Bag is now not going to be alongside.
Ooh.
As
Hefty
there's
spins.
a bit of contact, and I believe Hefty spun off of the rear wheel of get that money and run. He tried to go for a late lunge there, and it just didn't work out for him. And while we're talking about all these drivers, Snipper Pig and Real Space here are already on the fringe of the points.
Very impressive.
Now all the drivers filter through the stadium session and the final corner for the first time. Bossman comes across the line in P1. Pecan gains a spot and goes up into P2, and Breezy is in P3. Sinister Owl stays where he was in P4, and Zeus goes all the way up to P5.
Very close right now.
Sinister Owl has a little bit of a look up the inside, but not quite close enough to get anything going. The McLaren and the Haas of Get That Money and Run and Glen Coco in very close proximity with Snipper Pig right behind them. Glen Coco goes for a late lunge but locks up and barely gets it slowed down without running into the back of him. And now we're going to see Sniffer Pig on the attack. He defend, but most importantly, he attack. As now he will be going up very close to the back of the Haas. Out of this S section, Glen Coco makes a little bit of a mistake in the middle of the S's. Loses just a little bit of time to Sniffer Pig behind him as now they come up towards this stadium section. And a little bit of intel from Sniffer Pig. He had 0 practice and has no setup for this race. His Bossman comes across the line once again. He did set the provisional fast time of the race, but Zeus took it away from him. As now Sinister Owl will be looking to the inside of Breezy with all of his ERS deployment, and Zeus will be looking to the inside of both of them. Zeus looking for 2 and 1 here, and it looks like he'll get it. Zeus with a sensational move there in the Ferrari. Goes up into P3. Great late braking maneuver from him. Sinister Owl and Breezy caught napping there, but now Sinister will have the slipstream on them, and Breezy goes up the inside trying to replicate what Zeus just did, and Sinister Owl will go back around the outside of Breezy and will take back that P4. As now Sniffer Pig and Glen Coco are side by side in the hairpin, but Glen Coco gets a very good drive out of the hairpin and will stay in front for now going into the S's. The top two drivers have already pulled around a 2-second lead. All these drivers squabbling over P3 and P3 to P6 are going to lose quite a bit of time to the front runners here. Breezy off to a horrendous start to his standards. Sinister Owl gets a little bit of contact on the wall, and that'll open him up for Breezy to make an attacking maneuver here. Now DRS is the nailed for this straight, and they all have DRS behind Pecan, but Breezy will breeze right on past Sinister Owl, and Honos is catching them very fast. So Breezy back up into P4, and Bossman made some sort of a mistake, or Pecan got by him. It looks like Pecan did make the overtaking, so I missed that one completely. So Pecan up at the P1. Super Pig up in at P9, notably, and Hefty Bag gets out of last place and passes Man. And Coco and Super Pig still really close. They're side by side once again through the chicane. Glen Coco going for the undercut. He does very well, getting to the inside for the hairpin, and Super Pig is really struggling to get past Glen Coco. But now he is looking to the outside, going into the S's, but he's just not going to be able to make it stick around the outside here. This is more of a single file part of the track. Going to jump back up to Bossman and Pecan. They are very close. They're side by side through the stadium section, but Pecan will hold on to it for now. But we're coming out towards this DRS zone, coming through the final corner now. Let's see which one of these drivers can get a better exit. Looks like Pecan got a pretty good exit there. He did pull just a little bit on Bossman, but Bossman will have the DRS now. And that rear wing is wide open, that letterbox, as Crofty would say, and he is looking towards the inside of Pecan, and he will breeze right on by and take P1 away from Pecan. These two drivers, if they keep working together and just trade positions like this and not actually battle, they'll be able to pull away very quickly. As now Sinister Owl and Honos are side-by-side through the first chicane, still side-by-side going down the DRS straight. Both of them have DRS, but Honos uses that little bit more of his ERS deployment and pulls ahead.
Sniper Pig got the pass done on Glen Coco down the front straight into the braking zone.
Super Pig up into P9 and Real Space Hero a couple of seconds behind Glen Coco in P11 from the back of the grid. So going to be keeping an eye on both of those Red Bull drivers to make her come back through the field.
Whoa,
Breezy
and
goes
Breezy
very
really wide.
Definitely made a serious mistake there.
Very sideways coming out of there, too.
Yeah, he just lost control of the back end. These drivers are using very low downforce as Breezy once again struggling with the back end of his car. Once again, just losing the back end of the car. Is struggling with oversteer here already on just lap 6 of this Mexican GP. Pecan once again behind Bossman in the DRS, but not quite close enough for a move this time around. Going to jump back to Breezy and Honos, but they're going to stay single file. And it looks like no other drivers are side by side down the field, so we're going to jump back up to this lead battle. Pecan once again in the DRS. He'll be looking to the outside into the chicane, and it looks like he might make the move stick. A great move out of Pecan there to get up into
Light
P1
contact.
and take that away from Bossman.
Light contact from Bossman in the back.
Thankfully, neither one of them suffered any sort of damage out of that, so this race will continue for P1.
Great
Pecan really
camera angle right here.
Yeah, this is absolutely beautiful camera work out of the F1 news. Is now Bossman looking to the inside, going into the stadium section. Not exactly a place you see very many overtakes happen, but it can be done, and Bossman gets up into P1, but then loses the back end.
There was slight contact.
And Pecan slows down to let him stay in front, so very good sportsmanship out of him. Bossman, it looked like, got into the wall just a little bit, and Pecan got a very good exit. So Pecan's already right there on the rear diffuser of Bossman coming down the straight. And Bossman will not have the DRS like Pecan does, so they're going to be battling into turn 1, but looks like Pecan will be clearing him before turn 1 once again. But that little bit of a mistake from Pecan has allowed the rest of the drivers behind them to get very close and almost in their DRS range.
Honos
Now
and
Pecan
Breezy right on the back end of Zeus at this point.
Once again, Pecan has the DRS. It's a double DRS zone, only one detection point for 2 straights. So Bossman's going to really be looking to push as hard as possible and get into that DRS zone of Pecan while staying out of the DRS of Zeus. But it looks like they're both catching up to Pecan, so if it stays at the moment, they'll have a huge DRS train from P1 to P6. Which will make overtakes very hard. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2, not quite sure who that's for. Just stay up here at the front battle. Bossman around 9/10 behind Pecan. He's going to really want to stay there. It looks like he might have DRS, and he did exactly what I said he needed to do. He'll have DRS for this straight, but thankfully for him, Zeus does not, so Zeus won't be able to keep up with these drivers down this long straight. Now Bossman pulls up, and he's around 5.5 behind Pecan. He might be close enough to make a move into this next chicane after the DRS straight.
Just to let you know, the yellow flag was for a spin for Masashiro.
Breezy right on the rear diffuser of Zeus. Now he looks to the outside into the chicane, and Breezy with a commanding overtake there, and Honos a very opportunistic dive there onto Zeus, and he makes a little bit of contact, but thankfully neither driver spins out there. Bossman very close to the rear diffuser of Pecan, but the dirty air is really hurting him quite a bit, but he gets a very good exit out of the S's. Now he will be looking once again to the inside into the stadium section, and this time he'll make the move stick very convincingly as he now defends towards this hairpin, but Pecan's not going to be close enough to make any sort of a move, so Bossman, for the time being, is back up in a P1, but I feel like he should be waiting for this DRS straight instead of trying to do it there.
That would be, in my opinion, that would be a great move to pull on the final lap. But doing it so early means your opponent's going to expect it towards the end, so they might make that defensive move.
This is a little bit of an update. Honos got all the way up to P3 there, so Honos now in that podium position that I predicted him to be in. Pecan is out front, surprising both of us and leading this race and swapping back and forth with Bossman. Oh, this is going to be a great race. I can feel it.
Yes, very much so. Especially between Bossman and Pecan. Them going back and forth has been great so far already. That being said, I can't shake the feeling that Bossman's showing his moves a little too much this early in the race.
Or he could be just simply practicing them for later in the race. Bossman does stay behind. It looks like Sinister Owl has hit the wall. He has had a serious issue at the exit of the S's. He broke his front wing whenever he hit the wall, so that'll be a huge disappointment for the Renault drivers. Now he goes very wide. So Sinister Owl drops all the way down to P10 now, and he's definitely going to have to pit. Looks like there might have been slight contact between him and Breezy, or Breezy's just coming in for a scheduled pit stop because Breezy is in the pit lane now. There's quite a few drivers are in the pit lane, and including Snipper Pig, Sinister Owl, and Breezy. So thankfully for Sinister, this did happen in the pit window. So now Bossman and Pecan are side by side once again in this second chicane. Pecan looks like he will hold on to P1 for now. Bossman just not quite getting a very good exit out of that chicane, so Pecan will stay in the lead coming up towards the S's.
Bossman's tires look like they're getting a little loose at this point.
Yeah, but all of these drivers on these softs are really going to be struggling with these tires. Like I said earlier, the tire degradation on this track is very strong. And it looks like Snipper Pig... Oh, never mind. He started on the mediums. Okay. I believe Snipper Pig's going for a two-stop, which might actually be the strategy to go for. I'm not sure if Snipper Pig... Did Snipper Pig start on the mediums or the softs? As now, Bossman comes into the pit lane, so Bossman's going to be going for that undercut onto Pecan, but he was very slow getting into the pit lane, being very cautious, so he might lose a bit of time there.
Snipper Pig was on the softs because the only two that started on the mediums were Breezy, or Man Man and Eat the Green Bean. So
Okay, so Zipper Pig's locking in that two-stop strategy now, and quite a few of these drivers might be doing a two-stop. We might see quite a few drivers stretch out this soft compound stint as well, and then maybe go into the hards and the mediums for a one-stop, which theoretically might just be the best strategy because they will have track position and around a 26-second lead to the rest of the drivers, theoretically, that are on a two-stop. Now Lucas and Get That Money and Run are very close proximity to each other. A little bit of contact in that in the hairpin, and Lucas really driving hard into that corner, but it gives him a terrible exit. Great camera angle, by the way, from this helicopter. Absolutely beautiful camera work here, following around Lucas through that S section.
the helicopter cam on this track is incredible.
Bossman lost a little bit of time, or Breezy, lost a little bit of time to Bossman as Breezy went on to the mediums. So Breezy might be going for that one stop compared to Bossman's two stop, who just locked in his two stop as well. Pecan also doing a two stop. He went on to the soft compound tires. And so does Honos. So quite a few drivers doing the two stop. Let's see if Bossman can come out in front of Pecan. It looks like he will, so Bossman comes out with the help of the undercut and will go out into P1. Stiffer Pig sets the fastest lap of the race with a 118.715 on his second lap on the soft compound tires. And then Sinister Owl goes in and straight up beats it right after him with a 118.452. Get That Money and
Very
Run, and
good
Lucas
racing
now
so far.
battling for the lead. Both of them are on some awful tires right now. Get That Money and Run with serious snap oversteer there on the exit of that chicane. It'll be very intriguing watching these two drivers come through this S section. They're having to be so timid going through there. You can go so much faster, and you can just see the huge run that Get That Money and Run got on Lucas. Looks to the outside, but not quite enough room there to make it work. Lucas just putting his car in the middle of the track. These drivers will most likely be pitting this lap, I would assume. Those tires are absolutely dead.
Whoa, very sideways from Lucas coming into the pit lane.
As both of them go into the pit lane and Get That Money and Run actually makes an overtake going into the pits onto Lucas. So great opportunistic driving there from Get That Money and Run. Bossman puts in the fastest lap of the race with a 118.1 on his out lap on the soft compound tires. And Zeus goes back up into P2. Breezy is now in P4. So that couple lap undercut from him seems to have kept him right where he was, but he is on the medium compound tires, so this could be a very good strategy decision from him to maybe get this medium stint out of the way now and then go on to the softs at the very end of the race. Sinister Owl, after having to fix his front wing in the pit lane, is all the way down in P8 after battling for the podium positions, so very tough luck for him. Sinister always getting hit with that dose of bad luck.
Yeah, you got to feel for him. I'm not sure he's had a race where he's had perfect luck throughout the entire race, so.
Sinister Owl has never won in the UDL F1 League. Zeus puts in the fastest lap of the race with a 117.9, flexing his muscles on some really good pace. Pecan looking to the inside of Bossman up into turn one, and Pecan might just get the position here. See, covers off Bossman very well there for the cutback from Bossman, and now Bossman will not have DRS. Pecan, once again, like I said earlier, double DRS zone here. If you can get the overtake done in the first chicane, it's very helpful to try to pull just a little bit more of an advantage to keep them from coming back at you in that second chicane. Now they're coming through the S section now. Stiffer Pig, by the way, after the pit stop phase is all the way up into P6. So a great drive from him already, starting from P15 on the grid.
Very impressive.
And with 22 laps left, I can only imagine how much closer he can get as he really gets a good rhythm for the track. Now there's a yellow flag in sectors 2 and 3. Man slowing down, I guess just to let some drivers go, or he had some sort of an issue or something. He's on 13 lap old medium compound tires. Let's see how long he can last on those mediums. Now Bossman looks to the inside of Pecan. Once again, these two are just going to try to trade positions back and forth. Bossman goes back up into P1. Like I said earlier about Pecan, he's going to want to try to use this DRS to his advantage to pull away just a little bit. Honos, while we're looking at Pecan and Bossman, gets up into P4, gets ahead of Breezy, and Man actually pits this lap, so only 14 laps on those mediums.
Seems very low.
So definitely a two-stop race here for sure. Man goes on to another set of the mediums, so he's two-stopping medium, soft out of Zoom. A lot of these drivers are going very aggressive on their strategy. They might even be three-stopping, because if they average... I really want to see how long Breezy's stint is on those mediums, because drivers like Lucas and Get That Money and Run, who went on those hard compound tires in the pit phase, might have a good chance of getting this one stop to work and getting some very good points out of this. If they're doing the one stop, of course.
I do have to say it's not looking good for the interviews that we had for their predictions, being 1 and 2 for Williams and Racing Point.
As Bossman fins off Pecan in turn 1 this time around, so the person with DRS did not get the position this time around. While these two are battling away for P1, Zeus is cut out a second from that gap between himself and Pecan. So Zeus is on a mission here to try to catch up to these two drivers and get up into those get up onto those top 2 steps of the podium. Sinister Owl and Glen Coco fighting it out for P7 right now. Sinister Owl looking to the outside, but not quite close enough to get a move done. He's going to try for the cutback here, and he might just get a good enough grip, but nope, he just didn't quite get the exit that Glen Coco did, so Glen will stay in P7.
Honos also really trying to take advantage of that gap between Zeus and Pecan. Hefty Bag and Get That Money and Run with a little bit of contact. Hefty Bag trying to get an overtake done on Get That Money and Run, and ended in just a little bit of contact, and now both of them got sent into the wall, and that allowed Real Space Hero to get by both of them. Bossman gets overtaken by Pecan for the race lead here. Once again, E-Die Green Beam with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings on either corner cutting or extensions. And like I was saying, Zeus is really cutting into that gap. It's only 1.6 seconds back now. It was 2 seconds back the lap before. So he's really cutting it out. Honos is staying right with him too, cutting that same gap.
Honos, Breezy, and Zeus are really on a mission here. Snifferpig was 5 seconds behind Breezy a few laps ago, and now he's only 3 seconds back. But Breezy is on the mediums. So a very good pace out of Breezy on those medium compound tires to try to stay with these drivers as their tires fall off. Now, once again, Bossman going to the inside into the stadium section, and he gets the move done. So, once again, Bossman getting the move done in the stadium section, but just allowing Zeus now into this battle for the lead. Zeus in that second Ferrari is in the DRS, and Bossman might be under threat from Zeus as well as Pecan as he tries to defend from Pecan. Now he forces Pecan as far to the inside as he can and goes back out to the outside curb, but Pecan takes the position and will clear him. And now we're going to have to look for Zeus behind both of these drivers. He will have DRS on the both of them. So Bossman doesn't get a very good exit. Zeus only 2/10 behind. He will have DRS here. He finally opens the DRS flap. It took him a while to do it. So he did not have the power of DRS in the acceleration, and that really hurt him. Honos made some sort of a mistake, and Breezy is now right on the back of him. But this battle for the lead is too intense for me to get away from.
I'll get some coverage on the Breezy and Honos battle.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm gonna leave the party and come back because your voice sounds funky.
Okay.
Sorry about this.
I will invite you. Alright, I am back. Zeus now down to... Oh, making for the move on Bossman into the first chicane. Looks like Bossman might be able to hold on to it. And he does. It's giving Pecan just enough time to start to pull away. Breezy right on the back end of Honos. Looking for any little mistake to try and get a pass done, and he dives it up the inside.
I think my internet just died. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes I can.
Yeah, my internet is dead. My stream just died. It just booted me out of the lobby and everything. Hopefully I can join back.
Well then, your stream's still up, so...
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Thought it died. Okay, see if I can join the session back.
While you were gone, Zeus tried to make a big move onto Bossman.
I need an invite back to the lobby if you can.
How do I do that?
I don't know. Let's see. Is it in your start menu or anything? Can you invite somebody from there?
No.
Great. I don't have any. Damn it, Pecan, why didn't you send me like 6 invites this time? Alright, well, this is good.
Sorry everyone, having a little bit of a technical difficulty. While we were sorting that out, Bossman got the lead from Pecan. And Green Bean just got a 3-second time penalty.
I'm gonna check something. I'm gonna see if this sends an invite, and if it does, I'm gonna tell you what to do.
Okay.
Without kicking me from the game, that is. So you go to party screen. Play together. Join game session. Damn it. See if this kicks me from the game. The game that I'm in. No, it did not. Okay, so what you need to do is go to the party screen and your.
Yeah. Cancel game session creation, or create your own game session. Just making sure. Yes. That's F1 2018. I don't even have 2018 installed, so. No. I just... Alright. Oh, wow, where did
What?
Oh, okay, Bossman has pit since I was doing that. He is now on the hard compound tires.
So he will definitely be going to the end of the race. So soft, hard is a very interesting strategy call.
Pecan is in the pits, switch to the mediums. I mean, Breezy is, for now, on the top. Honos also
So I'm
pits
assuming
for
that
mediums.
Bossman will most likely be going to the end. What lap are we on here?
23 out of 36.
Oh, okay. I'm back, ladies. Yay! Sorry for the inconvenience there. Wow, Bossman almost a full pit stop ahead of Snipperpig. And Zeus. Wait, hold on. Did Zeus get by Bossman before that, or was it just still Pecan and...
No, he had not passed Bossman yet. He made an attempt.
How come Bossman is so far back? Just because of the hards?
Not sure.
'Cause he's really far behind Pecan.
I mean, he may have passed while I was sending you an invite, but I'm not sure.
Well, I'm back. Ah, man. I have 0 intervals, though, which is a little annoying.
Okay.
So, okay, there we go. So, most of these drivers have made their second stops now. Snipperpig is actually in a net P3 at the moment, which is really insane. He's actually challenging for P2. So if he can hold on to this and make this 2-stop work without having to make a 3rd stop, then this is a great drive out of Snipperpig. Because now he will be looking to make this overtake onto Zeus. He's looking to the outside now. And he will stay around the outside. He will have the inside line for this next corner, and he will maybe make it stick. They're still side by side going through this hairpin. And Snipperpig will get the advantage and take away that P3 and net P2. Unbelievable drive for Snipperpig.
Insane. From P16 all the way to P3, very impressive.
Now Brucey makes his stop. Like I said, he'll be in P2. He overcooks it just a little bit going into the stadium section, and Bossman is right on the back of both of these drivers. So it's going to be a very interesting battle here between these three. Pecan is very far ahead right now, though. Snipperpig notably is on 2-lap older tires than the 2 behind him, and 3-lap older tires than Pecan ahead. So Snipperpig will be struggling to get all the way to the end. But with that said, Breezy is on 15-lap old mediums and still circulating out front. And he has an 11-second lead, so if these tires can last him to the end of the race, he might be able to pull off an insane one-stop strategy.
And it should be noted again that Snipperpig is doing this with no practice and no setup.
Snipperpig once again on the inside of Zeus, but this time Zeus might get the best of him around the outside. They're still side by side going into the S's. Snipperpig wisely backs out of it, so he will stay behind the Ferrari for now, but he has to be really careful. He's in a very bad spot. He has to attack and defend. Glen Coco gets a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting. I'm sure he made some sort of a mistake. Bossman tried to go around the outside of Snipper Pig, but went just a little too hard into the corner. So Snipper Pig will hold on to that P4 for now. They'll be fighting down this front straight once again. Snipper Pig right on the back of the Ferrari driver of Zeus, and he will have this DRS as soon as he crosses the DRS line now. So now Zeus very aggressively going to the inside to try to get out of that slipstream and to defend. Bossman going up to the inside. Maybe he can replicate that move that Zeus did earlier. They pinch Zeus on the inside, and Zeus will lose 2 positions, and Bossman will go up into P4 with Snipper Pig getting the best out of that and going up into P3.
Incredible split with Snipper Pig and Bossman.
That was absolutely beautiful driving from nobody to get any damage, not even have any contact there. That was absolutely great.
And again, we gotta praise our cameraman up in the helicopter. The camera work is incredible.
Yeah, this is absolutely beautiful. I mean, just look at these cars glide through this S section. It looks like they're just so effortlessly going around here from this helicopter cam. They're totally not pushing very hard and almost about to spin out or anything. Bossman gets an insane run out of that S section, by the way, up into this. Like, did you see how much he just gained on Snipper Pig at the exit? That's insane.
Not even any DRS, just straight.
That's insane. Breezy is now in the pit lane after, I believe, 16 laps on those mediums, so Snipper Pig can make it to the end on those mediums as well as Pecan on his mediums, but their tires will be very worn out by the end of the stint. And Breezy went on to those softs for a 9-lap stint at the end of this race, so Breezy will be looking to go through this pack at the front, and it's very realistic that he can get back up into P3 or even P2.
Bossman makes a pass on Snipper Pig on the front straight.
The more these drivers fight over P2, the further away Pecan's going to get from them. Snipper Pig's just trying to hold on to these podium positions in these points, so he doesn't care about getting up into P1. He would be perfectly content with P2 or P3 as far as I would be concerned. I mean, as long as he can get good points, that's all that matters for his championship.
Yeah, at this point, he has enough race wins under his belt that if I were him, I really wouldn't be worrying about the win. I'd just be worrying about staying in the lead.
Yeah, I mean, for Snipper Pig now, it's just going to be a defensive battle between him and Pecan for the rest of this season. As long as Snipper Pig doesn't make any incredible mistakes and DNFs from anything, he should be able to win this championship, as now he goes around the outside of Bossman.
That does not mean he has not stopped racing.
No, he will definitely try his hardest. Same as Pecan. They're both going to be trying their hearts out to win this championship in the inaugural season of the UDL F1 League. Breezy, by the way, is absolutely flying on those softs. He's already caught these 3 drivers. He's going to be up in a P2 in no time and really tracking down Pecan for the lead. Look at how much grip he has. He's already beside of the Ferrari, and the Ferrari just lets him go. Zeus knew
that
he was just going to lose time trying to pass Breezy there. That's insane how much grip he had. Look at how much time he's carving out of the drivers in front of him. He pulled 2 tenths through that S section alone. He pulled 6 tenths on Zeus.
I might see this being Pecan or Breezy, Pecan, and then a fight for third with Snipper Pig and Bossman.
Bossman lost a bit of time there. Breezy sets a 1:17.8, absolutely blistering lap time on his first lap on those softs. So now he pulls to the inside of Bossman, making quick work of all these drivers. Breezy is flying right as he goes up into P3. Maybe he's still side by side with Bossman, and there's a little bit of contact, and they both go into the grass. And Bossman spins into the grass here. Masashiro gets a time penalty, so
Bossman's
huge disappointment there for Bossman.
Very mad.
And the Ferrari of Zeus gets back by Breezy, and Snipper Pig has really been released from this battle, and he can try his hardest to stay out front in P2 for the rest of this race. As now Breezy once again, he just cut the S's, but he went around the outside of the Ferrari going through the S's. So props to him on that one. Now there's a yellow flag in Sector 2 once again. Not quite sure who that was for, but it is now cleared up.
If I were Snipper Pig and if Breezy caught me, I honestly would just let him go through.
Yeah, there's no reason for Snipper Pig to fight Breezy. He has a pretty good advantage over the rest of the drivers that he's realistically battling in this race. Breezy is just on an insane strategy here that's really working in his favor. Like I said earlier, he will be going on the soft, medium, soft for this rapid final stint. So I expected it to come, but wow. And really, he's not even gaining on Sniffer Pig in the moment. Sniffer Pig's holding his ground up there on 10-lap-old mediums. He's keeping this gap at right around 2 seconds. So Sniffer Pig, it's quite a bit of pace. Once again, no setup, and he's holding the gap between himself and Pecan right now at around 6.8 seconds. It's been 6.8 to 6.9 for quite a while here. So Sniffer Pig really showing that he really is one of the best drivers, if not the best driver in this UDL F1 league. But as I say that,
I am very pleased to announce that Snipper Pig was signed over to my team for the World Endurance Championship. I think that's going to be a great partnership.
And also, as a quick announcement, the World Endurance Championship roster has been filled all except for one LMP1 seat in the Toyota. So if anybody wants to race, there's one spot open in that LMP1 at Toyota in the third team. Every other spot is filled.
It will be extremely competitive, close racing.
I need somebody to race with, so please, somebody hop in that Toyota. Because all these guys I'm going to be racing with in the LMP1 category are way better than I am at those cars, but I'm going to try my hardest to keep up and have a lot of fun. Those cars are beautiful. So now Breezy is right on the back of Snipper Pig, and like you said earlier, I would just let Breezy go at this point. Keep him behind as long as possible, but as soon as he tries to go for an overtake, I just let him go. I mean, he's just got so much more grip, but as I say that, Snipper Pig does go defensive into the stadium section, so Snipper really wants to minimize the points lost to Pecan, it seems. But it's going to be short-lived because Breezy's going to have that DRS, and once he gets by, he's going to have way more grip and just pull away.
Maybe that was Snipper Pig's plan all along. Just hold him off till the DRS zone so he doesn't really have to make any moves to let him by.
So now Snipper Pig does in fact let Breezy by, gives him zero contention for that P2. So Breezy up in a P2, great drive back through everybody on the soft compound stint. Now he's got a 7.5 second gap to try to pull through in only 4 laps. It's going to be very tough for him to do, but if anybody can do it, it is this man. He did start on the front row in this GP. As I say that, Snipper Pig is keeping up quite well. Right behind him. Only now is he losing any time through this S section. Jump back towards the back end of the points. Glen Coco get that money and runner side by side going through the hairpin and get that money and run. Has the inside line, but it'll turn to the outside line for the S's, and we know Glen Coco is going to defend this. They make a little bit of contact, and Glen Coco spins in the S's. Thankfully, he doesn't make any sort of an unsafe move there to try to rejoin the track, and Real Space Hero comes through for P9, and Glen Coco will be relegated now into P10. We're going to jump back up towards this battle at the top points paying positions. It doesn't look like Breezy's going to be able to eat into that gap that Pecan has quick enough. So Pecan, barring any mistakes, has this race basically locked up and his first win in quite a while.
He'll definitely be happy with that.
He needed this confidence booster for sure for his championship hopes. After the last time out in Japan, he was really, really down on himself. And so to bounce back like this at Mexico is very good for the Texas driver. T-Bag gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He is currently in P15, so he did say that if Drew Yu beat him, he would quit the UDL F1 League, and at the moment, Drew Yu is beating him, and Hefty Bag has now retired. So Hefty, once again, will retire from the session. He has not finished a race yet, because now we only have 3 laps to go in this GP.
Nope, he did finish last week. He did correct us on that.
No, he finished in the pit lane.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So very unfortunate luck for Hefty Bag. He has not had the greatest of races here, as Drew Yu has missed the braking zone completely and just went straight on, and he is retired from the session. So I believe Drew Yu's only goal was to beat Hefty, and as soon as Hefty retired, he just quit. I mean, I don't blame him, you know. I'm sure they're in a party chat together, and Drew Yu's really making fun of Hefty right now. As now my monster can is getting empty, is winding down. About to be only 2 laps left in this Mexican GP. The closest battle on track right now is Honos and Zeus, the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo. Sniffer Pig is on very old tires, and he'll be losing quite a bit of time to Zeus and Honos behind him. If these drivers don't battle each other and try to focus on catching Sniffer Pig, they might be able to get a podium position. As now Honos is looking to the outside of Zeus. Zeus goes defensive into turn 1. And Honos will take P4 away from Zeus. It's a great overtake there from Honos and his...
Very good drive from Honos today.
Yeah, Honos has done very well to keep every maneuver he has made very clean, and he's doing a great job of just overtaking and defending as well. So, everybody in the chats, vote on who your driver of the day should be. As Real Space Hero and Get That Money and Run are battling it out for P8. Real Space Hero gets the move done, and he will be up into P8 after Get That Money and Run is on 22-lap old hard compound tires, and so is Lucas right in front of him in P7. They made that one stop work, that's for sure. But yeah, go ahead and vote on your driver of the day. My pick for driver of the day, or any unfortunate events, I believe it should be Sniper Pig from dead last on the grid to a podium spot. I mean, that's insanely good. Replicating that drive that Carlos Sainz just had a couple of weeks ago at Brazil.
I completely agree.
So now Zeus and Honos side by side once again. Honos doing a great job of defending against Zeus, and he will hold on to P4 for now in that Alfa Romeo. But Zeus will have the DRS once again down this straight. Terrible camera angle there looking out the back of the Ferrari. I want to see the front. Is now Honos once again doing a great job of defending to hold on to that P4.
Honos might be one of my picks for one of the top defensive drivers in the league. He has such precision of being defensive while not making any contact.
Now jump back up to Pecan here. Let's see. Zeus and Honos are side by side. A little bit of contact made there, but Pecan comes across the line to win the Mexican GP here in the UDL F1 League. Breezy comes home in P2, Snipper Pig in P3, Honos will hold on to P4 with Zeus right behind him in P5. Bossman will come across the line in P6. Let's see where Lucas is. Lucas is in the stadium section now, crawling around on those super old tires. And he will come home in P7 for Haas. Real Space Hero, also a great drive from him.
Lucas spins and hits the wall after finishing.
Real Space Hero, great drive from him as well, starting from P15 to get all the way up in a P8, get that money and run, finishes out in P9. Man and Eat That Green Bean battling it out for P12. Eat That Green Bean actually spins it, so Man and Sinister Owl fighting for that last position. Glenn Coco has a 5-second time penalty, but it won't really matter. He comes across the line in that final points paying position in P10. Man on 5-lap hold. Sauce, Sinister Owl overdrove it just a little bit into the final corner, and Man will come across the line in P11. Sinister Owl in P12. And Eat That Green Bean will bring it home in P13 for Williams. Great race right there. That was great.
Great race.
Absolutely wonderful driving there from Pecan. With his battle between himself and Bossman, and then after the final stops, him just pulling away and having that great gap. He must have had a sensational in-lap or out-lap to be able to get that much of an advantage. So congratulations to Pecan, your UDL F1 League Mexican Grand Prix winner. Next week, we will be at COTA for the USA GP. Can't wait for that one.
That's going to be a very interesting race.
We have a little bit of intel from Pecan. Bossman actually had wing damage after their battle, so that's why he dropped back so far. So had he not had wing damage, that battle for the lead would have been very close. But once again, a great drive out of Pecan to snatch that P1 and get his first win for quite a while. Breezy comes home in P2, and Snipper Pig, a great drive from him. And quite frankly, my driver of the day from P15 to P3. Honos comes home in P4, just one spot away from my prediction of P3. Zeus in P5. Bossman, disappointment for him after starting on pole position. Drops all the way back to P6 after a spin. Lucas comes home in P7. Real Space Hero, great drive from him as well, starting from P16. He comes all the way up to P8. Get that money and run, finishing in P9. And Glenn Coco, the last points paying position in P10. Man, Sinister Owl, Eat That Green Bean are the last finishers of this race. And then Drew Yu, Masashiro, and Hefty Bag all retired. So thank you all for coming and watching this wonderful UDL F1 League race.
Goodbye, everyone.